We'll continue with the chapter what is government. So already in our previous class we have studied what is government, what are its various functions. So you have seen government is to perform so many functions in a country. Different types of functions it is performing. So how it is possible for a government at a time to perform so many functions? We will be reading detail about this in this lesson. So to perform these various organs are there of a government. Government has three main organs. As your body has different parts or the organs to perform various functions. As you have eyes to see, nose to smell, ear to hear. Similarly, government also has various organs. First organ is legislature. Legislature is the law-making body. It makes law for whole country. And parliament on behalf of the government make law for our country. That is, parliament is the law-making body of India. Next is execution. Executive. Name of this organ is executive. Executive means enforces law or implements the laws. Laws made by the legislature. And Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers as a whole is responsible for execution of law. Third body or organ is the judiciary. In case of execution, if any problem arises, then this judiciary branch is there to settle the dispute, problems. And the chain of courts consisting of Supreme Court, High Courts and the subordinate courts look after this judiciary affair of the country. So this is about the various organs of the government through which government performs its various functions. You can see all in the table that all these three organs are in same line. Mean what? This is the horizontal distribution of power. All these organs are equally powerful. So you can see here pictorial representation of the organs of the government. Here you have seen a tree showing the various organs of the government and which all are in same line. Legislature, judiciary and executive. You will be doing this in your copy. Next, types of the government. Broadly, we have divided the types of government into or under two heads, monarchy and democracy. These two are the basic form of government which is contradictory to others. So here we will be studying the types of government based on its formation. Differences between monarchy and democracy. Monarchy you have seen in the picture is the rule of a single person, that is king or queen. On the other hand, democracy is the government of the people. Here, people of the country are all powerful. Powers are rested in the hand of people. Secondly, monarchy, final decision making power or administrative power rested in the hand of the ruler. Ruler, you have seen that monarch, he is all powerful. His words are laws. But here in democracy, people directly or indirectly participate in the functioning of the government. Number 3, in monarchy, rulers get the hereditary power. Hereditary means after the father, son automatically get the power. So this is called hereditary power. But a democratic government is elected by the people after a fixed period of time through election. In our country, this government is elected in every 5 years. Whereas in monarchy, a monarch is in power till his death. Last but not least, basic difference is what? Rulers in monarchy are never answerable to the people. They are all powerful to take all the decision. Whatever they wish, they can do. But in democracy, A government is always answerable to people, is responsible to the people. People can ask questions on the functioning of the government, and people can express their opinion on the basis of their democratic government is supposed to take it or make its decision. So this is the differences between monarchy and democracy. Next, we will be reading some of the basic characteristics of democratic government. Already you have got little idea. A democratic government is the government of the people. Here you have seen a democratic government is a government by the people. Who form the government? By the people. For whom this government is? The government is for the people. And who compose, who form this government? Of the people. So this is the best ever definition of democracy. That is, democracy is the government of the people. Here people are all powerful. The important characteristic of democracy is that leaders are the representative of the people. Leaders are elected by the people, chosen by the people by giving vote after a fixed interval of time. Here people can participate in the functioning of the government. People can participate in the functioning of the government in two ways. Directly. How directly? By giving. Directly how? People can participate in the functioning of the government by contesting in the election. Earlier, you know, even election was not there. The size of the countries were small, then the population was small, so people could directly participate in the decision making process. But nowadays, with the increase of population, increase of complications of life, people do not participate in the functioning of the government directly. Rather, what they do, you know, they are representative, administer the country, rule the country on behalf of the people. Now, who are those representatives? We the people give vote and choose our representatives, and these representatives on behalf us rule the country. So there are two types of democracy: direct democracy and representative democracy or indirect democracy. But students, this establishment of democracy was not at all an easy task. Nowhere in the world government was willing to share its power with the people. People had to fight a long drawn struggle for the establishment of democracy. It is about this, some of the facts we will be studying in our coming chapter. But now you just remember that democracy, for establishment of democracy, people had to struggle all over the world. And this struggle of the people for their voting right is known as suffrage movement. Earlier, people were not given right to, all the people had no right to participate in the decision making or to give vote. A handful of people used to take all the decisions. You can see, in most of the countries of the world, women, the poor, the propertyless people and the uneducated people were not given right to vote. They were denied the voting right, and this resulted in the suffrage movement. You know, again I will repeat what is suffrage movement. Suffrage movement is the movement or was the movement for the voting right of the people. People struggle for their voting right, and this is known as suffrage movement. And this suffrage movement resulted in universal adult franchise, that is establishment of universal adult franchise. Now what is that universal adult franchise? Under universal adult franchise, all the people, irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, their economic status, etc., they have the right to vote in the election, and this is known as universal adult franchise. And all the adults, now what is that adult? Adult is a definite age fixed by the various countries, and in which it is considered a person is physically and mentally fit to give vote. In our country, age of adulthood is 18 years. So all the people in India above 18 years can cast their vote for choosing their representative. But students, in our country also, when we were under the British rule, the rights of voting was not given to all. Our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, was in support of establishing first this voting right, giving voting right to the people. And however, after independence, the independent India, right from its first election in the year 1950, we have given this voting right to all its citizens. That is, universal adult franchise was established in India. Indian people, people of free India, never had to fight for this universal adult franchise. With this, we'll conclude this chapter. Thank you.